What is going on, YouTube? I'd like to welcome you guys back to Red's World. So today we're going to be getting into my top 10 takeaways from the recent gaming shows. Now, full disclosure to anyone who's a Final Fantasy fan, I am not a Final Fantasy fan.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
It's nothing against Final Fantasy, as I just never have been able to get into it. So those will not be in my list. If you're looking for Final Fantasy, it's not going to be in there. But other than that, we're just going to talk about the PlayStation Showcase, the Xbox Showcase, and Ubisoft Forward. Capcom did a really bad job, so we're not going to really talk about them, but they've already dropped some bangers this year, so to be fair, whatever. But so we're going to go ahead and hop into my top 10 takeaways for this year's gaming reveals, whatever you want to call this. Alright, so right away at number 1, we had Starfield. Now, if you haven't played a Bethesda game, Skyrim, Fallout, anything like that, you're missing out. I'm not a huge fan of the Elder Scrolls Online or Fallout 76, but this game looks to be getting back to that really good single player formula that we know and love Bethesda for. And, I'm really excited to get into this one. Obviously, it's a very good looking game. There is the 30 frames per second. We'll talk about those things another time, but this game still looks pretty good. I don't really have a whole lot to say about this game because it already speaks for itself, and if you're not excited for this, I don't know if you're really excited in general for RPGs, man, because this could be a big one. Alright, so at number 2, we have Spider-Man 2. Alright, so if you guys didn't see this game, obviously Spider-Man is a really good game. This looks really good. It looks like it's gonna be a top tier game, honestly. I don't know really what to even say about this game. It's gonna be Spider-Man. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be really cool to see the symbiote and everything. If you're a fan of Marvel, this is going to be something that you definitely want to pick up. Had to get those two out of the way. Those are for sure the best shows, or the best games in the show. But yeah, Spider-Man looks really cool, looks really high action. And also it's going to be really cool to see the dynamic play out between Miles Morales and Peter Parker. And, it's going to be interesting to see how the story plays out and everything. So I guess we're going to have to see when that comes out. Alright, so at number 3, we have Lies of P. Now, I don't know, this is not in any specific order, just to be clear. But Lies of P is a game that I think caught a lot of people off guard. It looks like a really good Souls-like game, which, to be honest, those clones are kind of getting repetitive. But I have to say, something about the way they did this, there's a demo out that you could play, and I played it. Something about the way they did the game just feels incredibly unique. The environments are great. The characters you fight against are great. I'm just being honest with you, man. This was a surprise, and I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on this one. Super good game. Definitely check out the demo if you haven't. Alright, so at number 4, this is Phantom Blade. Now, this game looks really cool. The art style looks amazing. It looks like some sort of hybrid of maybe like a Devil May Cry, Ghost of Tsushima, and I don't even know, man. But like the blade action is really crispy. Check this out. Just that, for one, that's really creepy and weird. But check out the blade action, man. I need you guys to see this if you haven't seen it. Now, if this game really feels as good as it looks, where you're dipping and ducking and da-da-da-da-da, this game is gonna probably potentially be one of those Game of the Year contenders because it looks really smooth. There's a lot of weird stuff, which gives me like Hideo Kojima kind of vibes, mixed with some samurai stuff. This game looks really good. Can't wait to get my hands on this one. Alright, and at number 5, we have The Plucky Squire. Now, if you guys have not seen this, just give it a chance. This game looks extremely unique. It started off and I'm like, oh, it's going to be another indie over-the-top game. But as it proceeds throughout the trailer, you kind of see this transfer into the 3D world. And in that transfer, right here, bam, it starts to give me Mario vibes, like Paper Mario or something. If they do this game right, this could be a really good, not only cult classic, but it could be a really good overall game, like a Nintendo-esque game on other consoles, which a lot of people who don't have a Switch are really missing out on these good platformers or good just Nintendo filling games. So this is one that I feel like could be really huge. I'm excited for this one. All right, and at number 6, we have a game that I was not expecting, but when I seen the trailer and this happens, and it reminds me of Ghost Rider so much, and I loved Ghost Rider as a kid. Yeah, I'm sold. And I do know the type of game it is. It's like the weird puzzle game where you gotta do certain things to progress the level. The first game was really good. If you haven't played that, it's a unique experience. It is challenging. Essentially, like, you're trying to get through the levels and use your abilities to get through without dying. If you die, you have to reset the area and course and try to figure out how to move. It's really good, man. I'm excited for this one as well. So here we are at number 7, and this game speaks for itself. Alan Wake 2. Now, if you have not played Alan Wake, I highly recommend playing it before Alan Wake 2, especially because, for one, that looks nuts, but on top of that, Alan Wake was remastered, so you can go back and play it and have it in high fidelity, looking really good horror game. Crazy story. Remedy is really good. Control, Max Payne, these guys never miss, man. So Alan Wake 2, definitely going to be playing that one. At number 8, we have Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. Now, if you guys have not seen Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice 2, this looks like it's going to be a massive jump from Hellblade 1. Now, Hellblade 1 was made when Ninja Theory was an indie studio, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Microsoft acquired Ninja Theory, and now they're helping them develop this game with their resources and everything. It looks really good. This might be Microsoft's God of War, man. This might be the next big thing for Microsoft. Ninja Theory did really good with Hellblade 1. This one's been in development for quite some time. This is one that I cannot wait to get my hands on. Also, creepy, good looking, action has to be on point. But I feel like they're going to do good with this one. I can't wait for this one. Alright, at number 9, we have Fable. Now, I don't know what's going on in this trailer. There's this guy, he has a conversation with himself, or with us technically, and you have this hero, and she looks like she's normal sized, as you can see here, but then all of a sudden, it's like she gets tiny at the end of the trailer, and I'm not sure what's going on here. She starts running from the guy. Now, Fable is one of my favorite games. I feel like they've always done really good, so I'm super excited to see what this is. It looks good, it looks crazy, but I have no idea what to expect with this one. Can't wait to get my hands on it, though. Alright, at number 10, I kind of have a cheat. This is 2 games technically, but it's the Like a Dragon games. Now, if you have not played Yakuza, this is what Yakuza is now. Ryu Gaigutaka, or whatever the maker's name is, has now called these games Like a Dragon instead of Yakuza because they're less about the Yakuza. But there's 2 of them that were announced. You have Like a Dragon Gaiden, which is the one starring Kiru Kazama, which we're watching right now. And then we have this one, which is Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. And this guy was in Yakuza Like a Dragon, which I have not got to yet. I've played all of them up to 6. I'm working my way through 6. Then I have to play then I have to play Judgment. Then I have to play Lost Judgment. Then I have to play Like a Dragon, and I have to play Inshin. So there's a lot of Yakuza to catch up on, but these games are fantastic. If you've never played these games, play them. Seriously, they are some of the best gaming experiences there is to experience. So I can't wait to get my hands on those. Now that we've gone over my top 10 takeaways, we're going to do honorable mentions, flops, and things that I'm on the fence. Okay, so the first thing I'm on the fence with is Marathon. It is made by Bungie, the makers of Halo and Destiny, and obviously the old Marathon Durandal and stuff like that. But with this one, apparently it's supposed to be like a Escape from Tarkov extraction type game, so I'm pretty interested to see what they're going to do with that. That's going to be really interesting to see what they do If that's good, it could be really good. Another honorable mention, obviously Forza Motorsport. You obviously can't have an Xbox show without Forza Motorsport, so I'm just gonna leave that one there for you guys. Alright, and this one is actually really interesting. Another honorable mention, City Skylines 2. Now, if you are into city builders at all, SimCity, City Skylines, even, I don't know, there's a lot of these types of games out there, but if you're into any sort of city builder managers, this one looks like it's going to be one of the best in terms of visuals. I don't know what they've done in terms of mechanics, but like the cities genuinely look beautiful, and to me that was one of the things that always kind of sucked, is like when you're building these cities and they don't look amazing. You put so much time into these things, and if it doesn't look amazing, it does feel kind of like, I put a lot of time into it for nothing. This looks really good though, and it looks super customizable. I'm excited for this one. I don't know if I'm going to play it that much because it takes a lot of time, but it does look good. So if you guys are into city builders, there's that. And our last honorable mention is a game called XDefiant. It looks like it's a very Call of Duty paced game, maybe a little bit of Valorant, but it looks really interesting. I've heard nothing but good about this game. People have been playing the betas for a long time now. I guess the map design is really good, and they've done really good with the gameplay and stuff. This wasn't a big announcement though. This has kind of been around for a little bit here. It's just not out yet. I think it's huge that it's coming to console finally. In terms of the beta, I don't think it's fully out on either platforms. But it looks pretty good, man. This is going to be a fun one to get into. Alright, so now that we've covered the honorable mentions, we're going to get into the flops, and then these games I'm also on the fence with. So it's not necessarily a guaranteed flop, but you get what I'm saying. Alright, so this game is made by Ascended Studios. I don't know what other games they've made, but it's also published by EA, which is not what pushes me away from this game. What pushes me away from this game is that the gameplay looks kind of stale. You know, the graphics look good, the story doesn't necessarily look bad, but, you know, when you're looking at, like, those cinematics, they look cool, but then you get into this right here. Visually looks good, the enemies are just standing around, you know, and I know we've played things like Destiny and stuff, but I mean, to be a single player game, you have to have more depth in the gameplay than a game like Destiny that allows you to play with multiple friends, has way more replay value than this game ever will. You know, you got to do something super unique for a single player game to hit anymore, because you're producing single player games with multiplayer quality. I don't, you know, this to me, I'm not saying this game is bad, and I hate to judge a game before I play it, but as of right now, I'm going to say this game was a flop. It was received very poorly from most of the reviews I've seen. We'll have to see when it comes out. Alright, another on the fence potential flop, Foam Stars. This game has been fairly thrashed. I think that's unfair to the devs. This does look ambitious. I think it looks like it could be fun. I don't think anybody wanted this game. It could very well surprise all of us. I think it's very unique, and I'm not trying to stick up for it because I think it looks very... I don't know. When I literally watched the show, I said as soon as I seen this, I don't know why they're trying to make a Splatoon. Splatoon already has its fan base, but maybe this reaches a whole new audience, and maybe this is something really fun for us console players. I'm not entirely sure. I would also hope that this is free to play. I'm not sure about that either. Alright, so while we're talking about games that don't look as good as I would like them to, I'm very on the fence with Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. For one, the graphics don't look good. I don't know what's been going on with some of these games coming out. It still looks okay, but for a game that's coming out, it looks very outdated. Avatar was already a really good looking movie. So to see this is disappointing, because I think we would all like to play Avatar and the fidelity of the movie, which I understand can be more complicated, but this doesn't even look like it's on par with other games that are coming out, and this is a big budget game, I'd imagine, considering they acquired the license. So I feel like Ubisoft dropped the ball on that one, but it's not just the visuals that make it bad in my opinion. It's a lot of the gameplay here. You know, if you watch for a second, it just looks extremely stiff. It doesn't look like there's too much going on. It looks very, very still. I was almost hoping for like a, you know, a Far Cry-esque game in the Avatar world. It just looks stiff, man. It doesn't look up to date. We'll have to see when it comes out, though, and, you know, with games like this, it sucks because this game has been being made for a while, if I recall correctly, but it just doesn't look good. I don't think anybody was like, oh man, I can't wait for that. Like, this game doesn't look good, it doesn't draw you in, but we'll have to see. Alright, and last but not least, on my On the Fence games, Star Wars Outlaws. Now, this is going to be one of the first open world, if not the first open world Star Wars game. Now, obviously, we've played Jedi Survivor, Jedi Fallen Order, but this is being made by the people who made The Division. Now, if you didn't play The Division is an open world RPG, and you could play in co-op, which I don't believe this is co-op. I believe this is single player. Watch this gunplay here, just real quick. That's what scares me about the game. So I'm very on the fence about the combat here. I don't think that it looks very good. However, I did find this very interesting. You know, they're in a open world. They say it's gonna be, you know, considering the studios, I would assume it would be something along the lines of Watch Dogs or The Division or you know, Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and I think that we would all appreciate a Star Wars game in those worlds, and this doesn't look bad, but the combat did not look good. I'm really on the fence because The Division was really smooth, so I don't know if they just had someone who was bad at the game playing it or what was going on. But it didn't look good, man. The combat did not look good, but, you know, and there's a lot of video distortion and stuff, and I'm recording a video of a video, so it probably looks far worse in my video. But the graphics look solid, and it does look interesting. They were talking about it, and they were talking about how there should be stuff going on around you at all times, and I respect that. So we're just gonna have to try this one when it comes out, but that combat is very concerning. That's why it didn't make my list, because that combat alone, but you know, I guess we're gonna have to find out. Alright guys, so that was my top 10 takeaways for the gaming shows that have just passed, and on top of that, some honorable mentions and some flops or on the fence games. If you guys would like to see more, make sure you subscribe. Tell me your list down below, the games that you think that really look good, and try not to give me too much crap about not having Final Fantasy in here. But anyway, thank you guys for coming to Red's World. Stay tuned for more to come soon, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.